really does not like this matchup. He thinks it's really bad for Greninja. Arguably his worst matchup.
For real. So what makes this bad for Greninja? Because as I see it, Greninja is a very quick character, a very deceptively small character as well. And he will get in your face and he will stay there for as long as possible. What makes this matchup so hard for Greninja?
Greninja is a really short hop reliant character, but you cannot short hop versus those pellets. Greninja usually uses that Shuriken to force your opponents to approach, but Shuriken loses to pellets.
Yeah, it does.
So altogether, it's just really rough. And I have to correct you here, Near. I do believe it was Loading who beat iStudying in the round robin.
Well, thank you for the correction.
And just like that, that does mean this matchup has a little bit of history. I would say if you look at player skill, I do believe iStudying would be the favorite. Yeah. But considering the matchup and considering how iStudying dislikes playing this, it's just a little bit rough. Loading did beat Chuck earlier this tournament.
He did, and I think for Loading, momentum is so important. And what better momentum to have if you just beat Super Semi? So I'm excited to see what he can pull out here against iStudying. Because, yeah, this is definitely two of the top players.
Oh!
Wow!
Did you see that?
I did see that.
Drop Metal Blade into the up tilt. Shoryuken Baby Cat got confirms. Megaman got confirms. We Capcom.
Megaman definitely got some confirms, and Loading has been practicing that for hours. I can not imagine how many hours went into that. It's looking great here for him.
Loading after a back and forth taking that lead, and that's big because it's so hard to kill Megaman when you're behind. You have to constantly approach him. But the leaf shield, a little bit ill-advised. A little bit ill-advised.
A little bit ill-advised indeed. As you can see, water does beat grass moves, as it turns out actually. But the air, the wind moves, the air tornado coming out there. Some great damage on iStudying.
Look at that, iStudying getting those early combos, looking for the offstage pressure, but the Crash Bomber is going to put a stop to that into the down air as well. Megaman, a lot of shield damage on Greninja right there.
I love the way the people deal with the Crash Bomber. Some players start shielding, but other players start like rolling and stuff like that. And
no jump for iStudying. No jump means bad mojo, but great maneuvering right there. Loading just barely whiffing out because he thought iStudying would go wider.
Oh, definitely. And iStudying managing to get back onto the stage, but he's in the corner, and that's where Loading gets to do his stuff. Tries to go for these forward smashes, but I don't think they've been really working out. I'd like to see more of those Z-drops.
Oh yeah, the drag down, no jab block, but a lot of momentum still for iStudying. Here's the offstage pressure again. Reverses with the Shuriken to get the back air, but it wasn't quite enough. Loading back in control.
Flame Sword coming out, gives him some semblance of stage control. The pellets coming back out, but again, as soon as Loading is under pressure, we stop seeing the pellets, and that's where iStudying can capitalize, can get into that range of Megaman with the Flame Sword.
He was looking for that jump, and he finally found it. That was the third anti-air in a row. iStudying did not believe it would happen again.
Talking about waiting, we just saw iStudying waiting for Loading to drop his shield, and a lot of reads are being made here, but not fully capitalized on.
Loading keeps looking for those jumps on every occasion. Such a heavy character. iStudying gets intercepted on the double jump back air. Look at the B reverse leaf shield, almost getting the hard knuckle as well. iStudying, great movement right there.
Beautiful movement from Loading, and it's mostly been a Loading game so far. iStudying has been having those hits at some points, but Loading has been having control over the pace of the game. And
as we mentioned in the first talk, it's just so hard when you fall behind Megaman because you have to find the kill somewhere. But there it was, utilizing that high jump, fast falling over the palace with the forward air, and this is just a minor lead. This is very doable.
It is a minor lead, especially considering the crazy combos that Greninja can do. Rolling into Megaman here, into his grab, is definitely not what you want to do there, but Loading capitalizes on that, and the small things you need to capitalize
once again, the full hop fast fall forward air is iStudying, really maneuvering around that horizontal spacing that Loading keeps going for. Loading no anti-air right there as iStudying once again attempts those high approaches. We see them time and time again.
Yeah, the high approaches are being stuffed out there, but Greninja with the high jumps, yeah, it's I like the full hops though, because the short hops are definitely not what you want as Greninja. Slight misinput, I would say.
Yep, definitely looking for Shuriken there to intercept. There is the Metal Blade to up tilt once more. Loading, looking dominant.
It looks, for loading, it looks like that Shuriken into Mega Upper is his way of saying, okay, you're dead. You're at this percentage? Okay, you can't be at this percentage because that means
you're dead.
You're dead. Sure. And then the Metal Blade, I keep calling it Shuriken, but that's not the Metal Blade into the Mega Upper, gets the kill here, clean, and it just looking good for loading right there.
Definitely a strong performance out of the gate right there. Loading, I mean, the most important thing right there was finding those KOs. If loading gets the first KO, that's a big lead for loading, and iStudying has to trail behind, and trailing behind versus loading is so rough.
Yeah, exactly, because at that point, loading gets to control the pace of the game.
Gets to play the long range.
Yeah, gets to play the game that he wants to play, and that is that long range game with the pellets, making sure that iStudying can find no way in.
Already an interesting interaction. We saw iStudying going high with the forward air, but spacing back instead of forward this time around. Because loading, he went for an anti-air up air himself. But because iStudying reacted immediately, did not do anything. There's the drag down into the tech chase, into the chase with the dash attack as well. iStudying, look at that lead already.
Yeah, and this is what he needs. He needs to be ahead of loading so that he can control everything from the dynamics to whatever is happening on the screen right now. But loading is clawing his way back.
Loading, getting those early hits, but iStudying with the back airs, 2 down tilts, finding some pressure on the platform here. Lots of strange movement, but it does work in the end. No back air right there. iStudying gonna take back the stage control though. And the forward air is the name of the game right here. Breaking the zone, getting the KOs, getting the combos. iStudying forward air on point.
So what changed between game 1 and game 2 from iStudying?
It's the high approaches, man.
It's the high approaches. It is. Does look indeed like that.
Oh,
so
another up tilt that would have KO'd was it the sweet spot, but it was not. There's the back air, two dash attack, another back air, and the water's coming out, barely whiffing, zoning, but the back air is not that big for Greninja. He has to space it correctly. He has to choose which options to cover. A whiff on the get-up attack, a whiff on the up tilt, but the platform saves him. Goes for a parry up tilt, not quite going to connect because of the multi-hit. Another up tilt, loading is reaching.
Loading wants to hit that mega upper, and he wants to hit it right now because this is that kill percentage that we were talking about. This is the kill percentage for loading, and he wants to get back into the game. It's not looking good.
Oh. Very nice right there on the pressure. Loading, immediately throwing Greninja up, tries to get a juggle, but iStudying just a little bit too slippery.
Oh. Ooh. The up smash will take the KO there. Electric Tech's very good against this water Pokemon, but iStudying is not done yet. He has 2 more lives to work with.
A lot of grounded approaches coming out, and already iStudying, as I say that, switching it up to the vertical style. Very well, very smart choice versus Megaman.
I want to point your attention to these ledge traps that iStudying has been putting on, because loading has been having so much trouble with finding his way back into the center of the stage. And that's very different from game number 1, where loading, beautiful, beautiful up smash.
That leaf shield throw has a lot of lag, and if you do it on a platform, that does open you up for specific up smashes. Oh, look at the combo, look at the drag down, look at the jab block. iStudying is still going, but a break by loading. Loading in control here, gets the set but latch up of his own. Immediately goes for that janky down air, wants to take control back.
Oh, and the crowd erupts, loving what they're seeing right here. Loading, fighting to the last stock here, but iStudying with a fantastic lead, just barely not one entire stock.
Exactly, and there it is, the momentum coming up here. Loading, will he find a knuckle? No knuckle, no up tilt either. iStudying just taking the damage. Yes, sir, there it is. Footstool plus Crash Bomber, almost getting the sickest setup of 2019. But loading, he's still feeding for the jumps as soon as iStudying is in the corner.
Are we going to see another mega upper here? Tries to go for the ledge trump. That's the first time that we've seen loading go for that ledge trump in this
nice
set.
Mix up, and here we see iStudying going to go for a roll, going to get away immediately. Loading tries to find the jumps, but he's not getting them. Look at that. Tries to find a grab, but he's not getting it. iStudying one step ahead. That's a 2-stock on deck. And 1-to-1.
That's a gigantic momentum shift from game 1.
Oh, yeah.
Game 1, loading was in control. Game 2, the control slipped completely out of his hands.
Oh, yeah.
It was not looking good for our Megaman player.
So, interesting turn of events right there. And what do you think is the biggest change in game plan?
So, as you pointed out, I think iStudying was very dynamic in changing his game plan around. He was going from high jumps, high jump approaches, to grounded approaches, to high jump approaches. Just finding his way into the range of Megaman, into the zone of Megaman, really. And I think that was the reason why iStudying was able to capitalize and make the most out of the second game.
And what is loading to do to counter adapt to that?
Ooh, I think that's a very hard question because I think loading needs to be more in control of his projectiles, have better control of where he's shooting the pellets, at what range he's using them, and just in general moving around more.
I think pressing less attacks and focusing more on movement is the name of the game here, because he keeps getting zone broken because he keeps pressing buttons.
Right.
And if he does not press a button, he gets to react to Greninja's insanely high full hop. And when you react to it, you get the anti-air. And when you get the anti-air, you start your advantage state. However, if you keep committing to moves beforehand, you're open to a read, and iStudying has tons of those.
Oh, iStudying definitely has shown some fantastic reads so far. And in a matchup even that he considers to be losing for Greninja, or at least very annoying to I was looking at those platforms moving away, and I was seeing the stretcher coming out there, but nothing of the sort right there.
Nothing big. The dash attacks coming out, breaking that zone. Nothing that loading is set up to counteract the vertical or the horizontal approaches. The down tilt to up smash. Wow. Amazing confirm. iStudying showing that he still got those Twitter clips.
That was the art of Greninja right there. Every single hit from the turnaround jab to the, and another one. iStudying is definitely in control of this game.
Here's loading. Here's loading. Barely whiffing that back air kill. But he is going to grab a Greninja just once more. And that's the end of his advantage state. Here is iStudying. Accidental Metal Blade catch. Gets caught on his landing as well. The hard knuckle not going to connect. Loading feels pressure to make the comeback happen here, I do believe.
Another thing I think is making the difference in this set is the ledge trapping from both sides. But as I say that, loading finishes up the stock. But as loading has iStudying off stage, then iStudying can get back rather easily, all things considered. Whereas as loading is trying to get back to the stage, iStudying has been keeping him there for so long.
Exactly, and I mean, Greninja's recovery is not the greatest. You definitely have opportunities to capitalize on it, as we saw with the hard knuckle before, and that was the anti-air we were talking about, reacting to that huge vertical approach. But it's just not enough. iStudying immediately recovers, immediately gets the KO. iStudying is dominant right here once more.
And it all started from a single whiffed leaf shield. You talked about how loading was throwing out moves at some, or at least had to throw out less moves. And then the leaf shield completely whiffs, and everything starts to spiral out of control.
Exactly, he needs to stop whiffing those moves. He needs to be more conscious about what anti-approach options he wants to go for. Because right now, he's just covering options rather than capitalizing on iStudying himself as a player. And that's something that works versus mid-level players, but not versus iStudying.
Definitely not against the top of the top. Here we have iStudying with almost an entire stock lead here, but loading showing signs of life with another beautiful Metal Blade drop to Mega Upper.
Dash attack to the up air, nice juggle, another up air right there, right into the blast zone. Megaman immediately recovering right there with the Metal Blade, amazing. Very smart of him to hold on to that for so long.
Yeah, but again, iStudying getting back to the center of the stage in the most creative ways possible, even using the stage itself. And you know, that's just small things that are helping him out. But loading, tries to go for it all, gets nothing.
No big punish on iStudying's side. Loading is going to recover safely. The pallets, he has to uppy early, the air to the ledge. And there's the forward air on the jump. Loading feeling very pressured right there.
It's, again, iStudying on the ledge, loading gets almost nothing. Loading on the ledge, iStudying gets everything. And I think those two things, the thing I mentioned earlier and the ledge trapping, are making a very big difference in player skill right here.
Exactly.
Or at least today.
Yep. I do believe that ledge trapping, that edge guarding, both of those scenarios, extremely in iStudying's favor. However, if anyone can find those KOs that he needs, it's loading.
Yeah, because we've seen it time and time again. The Metal Blade drop to Mega Upper.
He can even throw it out. He can throw it backwards into the Mega Upper as well.
Yeah.
We saw some up smashes out of shield. We saw some down airs, some extremely early back air kills as well. It's definitely a back and forth situation, but the more consistent player is iStudying.
That's a very big statement you just made. Let's see if iStudying can live up to what you just said, or if loading can find some way back into this set.
Already a solid 50 in favor of iStudying. iStudying really closing the gap so very well, and loading just never trying to capitalize on those shielded dash attacks. He just never seems ready. He's shielded a lot of them already, but they just never lead to more. Oh, a dash attack and a berry into, just a jab. But iStudying was definitely on a roll right there. Lots of control here.
I can't believe iStudying just comboed his missed up smash.
Oh my goodness.
Into so much, and even getting the KO here. He's on a roll today, and he came to play here. He came to win.
Oh yeah, this is business. It's business. He might as well be wearing a suit right here, but look at that. The drag down again.
Wow.
And the jab log again. The dash attack again. And loading breaking free just barely, but there's not a lot of room to work with right here.
There's not a lot of room to work with, and there's not a lot of stocks to work left, because loading, you only have 2 stocks left if you lose this game.
Another one of those block slash parry dash attacks. There's no answer coming out from loading. He's just not ready to react to them whiffing. Loading, trying to find those grabs, but it just isn't enough. There's iStudying breaking through the high jumps. Goes for a smash. iStudying being so very comfortable. But
I think iStudying is feeling very confident in this set right now. But
loading!
Wow!
Asleep on the wheel. iStudying with a reversal. That is looking so very rough for loading here. He has to find one of those KOs, but if iStudying is staying in shield, there's no up tilt opportunities here.
There's only one way for loading back into this game, and that is to hit a Mega Upper right here, right now. Because you need to make something happen, or else iStudying would just walk away with this game.
iStudying looking so dominant. The forward air coming out as well. The back air. iStudying keeping loading cornered, but not overextending. He knows he has room to work with. He can let loading get out of the corner once or twice and still hold on to his lead. There's the crash bomber, forcing the shield, but it isn't enough. Loading still looking for the jumps, but iStudying is not giving it to him. iStudying is not giving anything. He's staying patient, but loading with a forward smash out of nowhere.
I think iStudying is looking for hard reads at the moment. We saw him go for the down smash earlier, and then the forward smash just now. And I think if he just sticks to whatever he's doing, then he will get the game 3, game 4 even, winning the set 3-1, a dominant victory over loading.
Very well done. iStudying